Welcome, everyone, to the day of the day after, where because of some scheduling conflicts, and we full-heartedly blame Dash for it, F that guy,
Yeah.
we're doing normally what we like to call the day after recording to the day of the day after recording. We'll be back to normal next week when, all of our jimmies are not rustling anymore. But this is where we recap the match weekend and also go over stats that some people don't like and want to whine about. But again, we made you laugh during the call-in show. Now we're going to try to teach you a thing or two. And to teach a thing or two is going to be my buddy Dave. Dave, how are you?
I'm gonna be I thought you were the teacher. I'm
I'm an
just the guy.
ass.
Oh, okay. Well, you're gonna get learned tonight. Apparently, the fun is over. Guys, get your pencils and your notepads out. Dash is gonna educate. I think it's more so just bantering about what's going on X. You can't just say X in a sense. It's so dumb. I'm going to
Sounds
continue to say
so fucking
Twitter. What's
stupid.
What's going on in Twitter? There's a
Like it
couple of
sounds like
dumb
ex,
things.
like ex as in like an ex girlfriend. Like I have like some kind of pent up frustration. Like my ex, I mean on ex, shit, damn it, but like
Yeah, and nobody likes the person that always talks about their ex. It's weird.
it's super corny. It's super
Yeah,
cringe. Like the only time you really want to do that is when you're making a reference to a sports team that just broke your heart. Like that's when the only time
like
that that's acceptable.
like the Maple Leafs always.
Yes, that's fair enough. I mean, well, Red Wings ever since they started Patrick Kane, for some reason they forgot how to play hockey and defense.
Yeah, at least
Yikes.
you had your time. You had your time. But guys, we're here. We always do that. Just simmer off into different directions. But we are here for Juve to recap Juve Napoli, the ultimate. I believe, anyways, is the ultimate in Corto Muso.
Oh, absolutely. I think that was they were trolling. Well, first half I think they were going for more than one.
Yeah.
And then it's like the second they got the one, they were just kind of like, "Hey, let's fucking troll these guys and just piss them off." In many ways, like, could you agree that like it felt like our defenders were just trolling Osimhen and everybody for shits and giggles? I know Gotti and Bremer were trolling the fudge out of Osimhen. Like
And
some of the
Kvaratskhelia as well. He got pushed around a bit.
he was getting pissed, and it was just overall hilarious. Like
Hmm.
I was enjoying every minute of it. But like, I think the main question is what do you how do you feel after that?
I feel good. I don't know what it is. I've been frustrated week after week with these Corto Muso wins 1-0, 2-1 at best, and then just 1-0 to Napoli. I feel amazing.
I think, being in the position that we are, I'm happy for it. Am I happy that our defense is good? Yes. My midfield has left a lot for me to be desired on, though some players are on the up and coming. I think Cambiaso was a
Hmm.
pleasant surprise. I I'm just disappointed with our front line. I think our front line is just absolutely woeful.
I
And
th-
like, go ahead, Dave.
well, what makes it exciting more so this week, I think, is that yes, our backline continued to be solid. Yeah, we did slip a little bit, it seemed, but we got the traction back under it, locked in a nice clean sheet once again. But then we also saw the wings and the midfield start to do something as well. In particular, you have McKennie and Cambiaso, which I know we're going to talk about some more. So you see that progression now starting to move up the pitch. You are correct, though, the forwards are still absolutely trash.
Yeah, like disgustingly garbage.
And
And
it's starting to get a bit embarrassing.
it is. I mean, look, more so it's on Dusan than it is on Chiesa, but at the same time, it's just very, very like huge as far as underperformance goes. And like, I need to see better, right? You need to see better coming in
Hmm.
from those guys, but it's not there, and it's extremely, extremely disappointing. And like, I'll kind of go over the stats because big shout out to Colin because Colin brought a really interesting point during the Colin show that I kind of forgot and I didn't really talk about. But so like expected goals, right? And there's the golden thumb. If you are at what your expected goals in is at, so like for example, if me, the individual dash has an expected goals of 5 and I have scored 5, that means I am average. I am right at there. I need 5 chances to like 5 clear cut chances because that's what expected goals is, right? So just to teach folks, and this isn't me talking down on folks, but like for example, an expected goal number, it ranges from 0 to 1. That is your percentage that you should be able to score a chance that you're provided, right? So like for example, if Dave's in front of the net, maybe a foot in front of the net, and the ball lands at his foot and Dave shanks it over, Dave gets an expected goal of 0.98 because you're going to make that 98% of the time. It's just he put on his Doosan shoes. That's why he didn't make it that time. So when you're looking at overall, like for example, the reason why like the rule of thumb is you always want to do twice as much as your expected goal, because you score off half chances or you score off third chances, in a sense where elite players or great players are capable, or great teams are capable of being concise and decisive, right? Where like you look at it. So like say that a team plays me with a point 0.3 expected goals and they beat me 3-0. That means that they took slivers of chances and were able to create that. That is outstandingly good. However, if you are Juve, not this game, but if you are Juve at some games of the season, when you have expected goals of 0.38, 3.2, 2.8, and you're only scoring one goal a game, that means you're drastically underperforming. You're doing very, very, very badly. So, like when we're looking at, and when you're looking at the table here, as far as, and I'll share this tab here so you guys can see said numbers. So when we're looking at expected goals, so Juve is at 24.1 expected goals this season. And the actual goals that they have scored, and I don't think it actually shows it on here, unfortunately. So I have to like hobble between two things. So if I go to the table, they have an expected goals of 24.2, and Juve have scored 23 goals this season, which is not really that good because they're underperforming. So that means they need a lot to convert. Whereas if we look at Inter, who is the top tier team right now, they have an expected goals of 32, and they've outscored that. They've hit 37. So they've outperformed it. So that means they're a lot more decisive, a lot more concise with their ball, with the ball and finishing. I believe you can argue with Napoli as well. No, Napoli's actually underperforming as well a little bit. But like as far as offensive efficiency, I think Inter right now is showing everybody up in a sense because they are outperforming every single metric. I think everyone's below the expected goals, but you got to do better. And technically, Dusan is underperforming his expected goals. Just pointing that out there to be petty. But when you're looking at numbers like that, it's just kind of things to kind of paint the story, right? To give you information. It's not to say that, this is the issue. And one of the things that I always like to illustrate with folks is it is never really just one thing is the issue, right? When it comes to football, there's a facet of issues that culminate into a problem. So you have, like, for example, I'm going to get like technical here. You have multiple pebbles. So what happens when you take multiple pebbles and you mush them with mud and dirt? It turns into a boulder. It's a snowballing effect, right? So when you have poor forwards, poor offensive play, poor midfield play, it culminates into that wasteful chances, wasteful decisiveness, et cetera, et cetera. And what you got to do, what good organizations, good franchises, good teams, good et cetera, what they do is they have to chip it away piece by piece, right? So if we look at Juventus from 2021 to about the Napoli game, they had three big issues. They could not defend to save their lives. They had no creativity, no movement of ball in the midfield, no wing backs. Remember that, no wing backs. Because you had Quadrado who couldn't run, and then you had Alexandro for a season, and then we got Kostic a year later. And then you lost Cristiano Ronaldo, and your best forwards were Paulo Dybala on one leg and Alvaro Morata.
Dybala
Did
off
get
the
injured
pitch again
today.
today. Yeah.
Speaking of Roma, do you know who scored today? Rhymes with
Same guy
Kaka.
that same guy that got a red card.
Yep, the same guy that did that too. And this is kind of just to paint the whole picture, right? When we look at it, and it might take, and some people can argue that it took longer than it should have, but they broke apart the defense. They moved Delit, they moved Bonucci, they moved some pieces, and progressively, Juve have gotten a lot more concise with defending. With the midfield and wingback play, They brought in Cambiaso. They brought in Timmy Weah. McKennie developed better as a more all around player in a sense, and you're starting to see things patch up there. Locatelli potentially taking strides forward, Rabiot being Rabiot again, and then Kostic as well being able to provide, crosses from set pieces, because it would be disingenuous for me to say that Kostic offers absolutely nothing, because on set pieces, on corners, he's provided assists, like
That was
whether
a
you like it or
Twitter.
not.
That was a Twitter piece this weekend.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't see it, but
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, no, the one with the cross stitch like blooper reel.
oh, that's funny. There's an actual blooper reel out now. Hello
Oh,
lights.
you didn't? I thought you saw that
I
one.
have
Okay,
not seen it. I have
all
not
right.
seen it. I have
Well,
yet to see
I'll
it.
show I'll show you after, but it was not it was not in the favor of Kostic. This post is what I'm getting at.
So many butt shots. So many butt shots. Uh, but kind of moving on to that, this season, you're starting to see certain things fall together, certain aspects of it. Defensively, it's good. Your wingback play is impressive. Actually, pretty damn good, because McKennie and Cambiaso have been out of this world together. The main issue is penetrating balls forward and ball carrying midfield, which unfortunately I think we would have taken steps forward had Fajoli and Pogba played this season. I think we would have taken
Oh,
strides
for
forward.
sure, for sure.
But with them being out of the picture, it didn't. So you have that as an issue, and you have the forward play as an issue, because Dusan didn't decide to take a step forward. He decided to body slam himself back. And
And
do
then
we
get a lower
know
back problem.
he got a cramp? He got subbed off for a cramp. That to me is just outrageous.
Nothing came out today, so hopefully it's nothing.
Hopefully it's just a cramp, but that to me is absolutely blasphemy, because how many times has Bremer or other guys got cramps and they just put the magic spray and carried on? I'm sorry, that guy's just soft at this point. But I think, though, this game, the Napoli game, and the Inter game as well, depending on how you view it, right? I think it kind of shows that, hey, it's coming together.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a finished product? Absolutely not.
No.
It's not. But it's getting there. And I think there's something for Juve fans to be hopeful for. And I think if your offensive players can start contributing, then you're in for something really, really good, right? You're in for a treat.
Yeah.
So
And if that does happen, which it can just lock on sometime this season, then we're actually at the level of a team like Inter.
Yep.
And imagine what we can do then when we're actually at that skill level. Like we're doing it now, looking like crap. So just think about that.
Yeah, exactly. We're competing and we're underperforming. So what happens if we start actually performing, right? Is it sustainable in the future? That's a different discussion, right? We can debate all of that whatsoever. But looking at it from where we are currently right now, we're competing even though we're not at 100% capability, which is the truth, right? Like you can use the eye test. You can say it's the eye test, not the eye test, but just the numbers, how we've played in correlation to what the metrics are giving us. It's saying that.
Well, let's go back to the eye test and being successful and sustainable, because that was another piece on Twitter this weekend about complaining about the 1-0. How could this be a thing in 2023? Somebody came in with a post. It was a match in 2017 where we beat Napoli 1-0.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was Sarri's balls. It was Sarri's balls, Napoli at the time, and it was back then. Where I think the thing that I need people to understand, there's two types right now. There's two types of football. Two types. There's the I'm going to possess the living hell out of you. I'm going to press and possess, because they don't really have great defensive characteristics or attributes. So press and possess is what we like to call it. Teams that have possession 60%, 65%, because they can't defend. Those are teams that can't sit back. And then you have other teams that we don't have great skill players to possess the ball, but we have great defenders and we got guys that can play fast. That's kind of where the game is pivoted in a sense. It's essentially it's what parking the bus and tiki taka was at the time, but it's not anymore, right? Because Parking the bus was throw 11 back and then just heave it to a really pacey striker like a Drogba or something, like just to a pace, just straight pace to outrun the press.
So it's high pressing possession based versus low lying counterattack.
Yes, and it's not so far like this kind of defense isn't really parking the bus, because what parking the bus, especially like prime Mourinho or Diego Simeone parking the bus, is exaggerate every foul, exaggerate every ball that's played out, exaggerate X, Y, and Z. It's shithouse ball in a sense, where you're trolling in a sense, where take fouls, make fouls, do X, Y, and Z. Where it's like you look at counterattacking teams nowadays, where it's like, okay, so I'm going to bait them by putting my wingbacks in this position. I'm going to draw them all the way down here, and then I'm going to put it in a position where my regista is open, and then regista. The first thing you do when you get possession, without looking, you're playing it into the top left quadrant, where you're then playing it to your target man, and then your pace striker, your support striker, runs around the target man, and then he's through on goal. That's usually how like this works. It's a devised plan per se. It's how they do it, right? If you look at some of Juve's offensive plays against Napoli, a lot of it was like that, right? Where Dusan, I got to call balls and strikes here. He did have decent hold up play.
It was better.
It was better hold up play, and a lot of attacks were fluid because of it. You're able to attack a lot quicker, a lot more concisely with it. But again, for him, the end product is the same. It's a miss or off the post. That's kind of what Juve have been doing a lot lately, where it's like, hey, let me buy it. Let me give this guy a false sense of security where they can play up and do it. Because Juve told Napoli, you have the ball. You have to come to us. We're not going to you. Because what's the point? Because we're going to draw you out, and then we're going to hit you when you're not paying attention. And in theory, that's kind of what happened, right? Because who expected Gatti to run all the way up at the pole position as a 9 to take that cross from Cambiaso in open play?
And that's the X factor with Gatti at the moment.
He's absolutely on fire right now. 2-game winners back to back.
Yeah.
Like, whew.
That's huge.
Because
that's where he's coming from. That's
yeah,
the mind-blowing part of it.
I know.
Right?
It's dude's a bricklayer. Dude was a bricklayer in 3 years. He was a midfielder when he was, I think, 20 something, 20 and some change. He was a midfielder and converted to a center back. So
probably just because he was so big and like
big,
that body type, right? It's more conducive to being a center back. That's probably why he got converted. But he clearly, and you see, De Ligt will bring him up, right? It was the same thing with him. That's why he was better in his feet, but not like Gattoni, not even close. So let's stop making that comparison, because this is so much better.
De Ligt is super clumsy compared, like, Gatti to me seems a lot more smoother than De Ligt would be on the ball. For me, De Ligt just seems super clumsy as a player. Like,
De Ligt is gym strong. Like, he's got the good looking muscles, but they're useless.
Yeah, especially his brain.
Gatti's got the bricklayer muscles.
He does. He's got bully ball. And to be honest with you, if I could describe this game, it's bully ball. Like, look at this. It's straight bully ball. Like, I love it.
He makes Oshiman look not so massive as well.
I know. He makes him look tiny. And then, like, the same thing with Bremer, too. So, like, this clip will cover Bremer as well after it comes back from Gatti. But Gatti's telling this guy, like, I don't care who the hell you think you are, dude. That's something, for me as a player, I respect, man. Because, like, the entire game, Bremer, and he's whining about it, but with Bremer and Gatti, legit bully ball. Like, look at this. Like, Bremer's not letting him. He's like, hey, I'm right here, bro. See ya.
I love that. Just the reminder. Hey, buddy. Just to get into his head.
And then it's like, okay, he transitions off. So the same exact play, Gatti comes into him and pushes him a little bit.
This is amazing. This is Juve defense.
It is. It is legit grit. This is what you want to say is grit. Like, it's no nonsense. Like, Chiellini used to do it too. Chiellini would say all the time. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm bear hugging Lukaku, or I'm doing this. He's like, I'm getting in their face. He's like, and that's the interesting thing he said right in his comments, and we'll cover that on the Tinfoil Hat Show.
Speaking of getting in your face, here's my dog.
I know. I'm just waiting for her to drop some lines.
She don't
She's like,
speak
Dave,
Spanish.
let me hug you, Dave.
Okay. Okay. All right, sorry.
So bully ball. I mean, the game was bully ball at its finest. I mean,
Was it?
yeah,
And I think that's one of the reasons why I feel happy post match a couple days later.
yeah, especially with the tackle Danilo did as well. That
Oh
clean open
man.
field tackle.
He wasn't the only one. There was a few tackles throughout that match from various players, and they were all beautiful. They all made contact cleanly. Just just pure grinta throughout
I
that
love
whole
it.
match.
I love it. It's bully ball, straight bully ball, and that's how good teams play. Like they have bully ball. You need to have bully ball. You got to strike fear into the opponents. You got to strike fear into the strikers that you're playing because they're not going to come at you if you're being aggressive like that. They're going to sit back and be like, "Oh shit," because outside of maybe like a few squandered half chances or even quarter chances, did Oisman look really threatening? No, not really. I mean, here's an image of the Danilo tackle, and it's I love every ounce of it. Like, look at
Yeah.
that, and he looks at him too.
Sit down, bitch.
Yeah, I mean, look at this, tackles and stares into his eyes. That is what
So
I
good.
love to see out of defenders.
So good.
That is when you tell him, "I am here, and you aren't gonna do shit." That is grinta at its finest. That is bully ball. And if you do that and you can do it successfully and you can make challenges and tackles like that, you are going to go far as a team because that fires up everybody else around you too.
Mm-hmm. Gets the crowd going. I was getting going.
I was excited. I loved it. I
You
loved
were working,
every.
whatever. Fuck you.
I had to watch the replay, but I was just like, I was watching the replay. I was like, God damn. It's like, chill. Wow. Because, as much as people want to clown Danilo and say, "Oh, he's a bum as a captain," you led by example there.
Yeah, that's one channel and nobody likes them, so who cares?
So I think we should probably get into the player ratings. So we'll move on to that. So looking at the overall ratings, quite decent. I'm a little bit surprised how Rabiot was rated a little bit lower than I anticipated him, but obviously I think the stalwarts is this right triangle right here has just been
Hmm.
awesome. Like
That
they
was
have been
it.
a
Yeah.
joy. That right
And
triangle.
then the whole back line shoring it up as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Rabiot, Locatelli did their job defensively. Kostic, he was involved. He was
He's
there.
involved. His defensive work rate is getting better. So like I'll be honest with you there. Like defensively, he's been shoring up a lot better. But if you have these three cooking in the way that they're cooking, he doesn't really need to do much.
You would like to have,
You would like to have that as a threat, but
yeah,
I
just
just
to
for
open things
me.
up.
So if I were, and let me see if I don't know. No, I can't. But I was gonna try to draw something here, but I don't think I
They should put
can.
Chiesa as a right striker to work off those guys,
He
and then
won't.
Chiesa can move it into Vlahovic, perhaps.
The problem is Chiesa is like programmed defaultly to move to the left,
Well,
regardless.
and that might just be the thing. Just be like, okay, start him off on the right, and he'll eventually just go central, and then Vlahovic just has to learn how to work
Yeah.
around that.
Like Chiesa to me right now currently reminds me of like a software program that's coded to do one specific thing and that's it. And then it's like when it doesn't work that way, it's just like error 404, don't know what to do next. Like, and don't get me wrong, I love the guy. I think he's great. Like I'm not doubting his talent. I just for me, it's just his IQ leaves a lot to be desired, right? Because you can have all the skills and the ability in the world, but if you're a dumbass, what good's it gonna do you? I'm not saying that he's a dumbass. No,
He's
no.
classically trained. He went to that prep
Classically.
school.
Classically trained. Yeah, the how to rob Juve out of insane amounts of money prep school from Rocco Comiso. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Only Dusan has robbed us blind. But obviously, like I mean, worst player on the pitch, Mr. Cramps a lot over here. I
I should pull up all the names that have so far come up for Vlahovic.
I mean he's become a meme at this point.
He's very memeable. Uh, some people
Yeah,
get
0.47. That's
upset,
actually pretty good.
but we have Dusan.
Douche on.
Blahovic got like one vote last night. There's
Share the screen for the poll. Share the screen for the poll.
oh no, this isn't the poll. This is just like everything else that got added on. This is everything that we've got so far.
Oh.
This is the conclusive list. Except ours. I forgot to write ours down. So here we go. Dusan, Vlahovic, Toddlervich, Winovich, and Trashovich.
So which one won?
So it was Dusan had like four. It edged out Trashovich, but we only had Dusan, Blahovic, and Trashovich last night. That's why we have double the amount of entries, and I put Dusan first. Most people select the first one, so I would love to do a second poll on maybe Wednesday night.
Okay.
So
That
that's what
would
we'll
that would
do.
be fun.
Speaking of something that doesn't really matter at all, we're gonna do that Wednesday night because that's the tinfoil hat show.
Tinfoil. See, this is interesting, right? Like, it's just you and me talking because I'm so used to doing live shows, and I'm just like waiting for like I don't know why I'm like pre-programmed into looking into the chat to see if someone's gonna say something or yell at us, and I'm
And
like,
it's just like a
there's
blank
nothing there.
void.
It's an empty void.
Nothing but sadness. It's
like
just
my
the
love
two of
life.
us.
It's like my love life. Oh,
Oh,
poor Dash.
yeah.
So, kind of, let's segue back into this briefly. So, Napoli very lackluster as far as player performance goes. As American football fans would understand that Gattini Randy mossed Rahmani there. By mossed, I mean he jumped 2 feet over him and headed that in. Really, I think maybe Di Lorenzo was the only one that was heaving crosses and praying for Napoli in this sense. And
Yeah.
Cravo is really, really bad.
He
Like, I mean,
was
even
pocket.
that chance that he missed,
Oh, well, that was...
he exaggerated the touch. I was watching that clip on it, and he like took a very heavy touch. He channeled his introduce on there, but Cambiaso and McKennie did a great job. They essentially cut off Crava from Oisiman, and Gatti was like, "All right, time to show you some bully ball." And
Yeah, and again, Kostic, Rabio did enough just to pocket Politano, which isn't a massive job, but a job nonetheless.
Yep.
And then just they had no offensive outlet.
No, they had nothing. And you could tell that they were trying to improvise because they were trying to have Oisiman go up against Danilo, and Danilo was like, "Nope, you can get this work too. I'm not letting you get past." And then Oisiman tried to transition on to Bremer, and Bremer's like, "Nope, you're not getting this." And then tried to transition to Ganti, and Ganti's like, "Nope, you ain't getting this either." So,
well, our mids and wingers pocketed Kvaratskhelia and Politano to the point where Osherman was all
just
alone.
running all over the place.
And then it was just Danilo, Bremer, and Gatti against Osherman. It's like, what? What are you doing? What are you doing
Came
here?
to the wrong neighborhood, pal. Came to the wrong neighborhood. That's what they gave him. Look, there's a reason Allegri won Coach of the Month. You gotta agree or disagree with his style, and listen to the call-in show because there's a really good discussion on that. Right? In my opinion, you got to tip your cat off to him. Like if you're not
tip your cat off to him,
calf.
What's the?
You don't tip cats, Dave. It's like the most entertaining thing in the world.
I got one of those too.
Flip a kitty. Flip a kitty.
Just go out there,
you got it. Dude has to get his flowers, man. Because he did it. He's done well against top teams this season. He hasn't lost a game to a top team this season. No, he hasn't.
He has not. No.
He tied Atalanta, which I will wholeheartedly hang that on him as a poor performance.
Yeah, that was a poor one.
Milan kind of got through our teeth in a sense. I'm not happy about that game, but we won. Fiorentina, same thing with that one. Not happy, but we won. Inter, a little bit disappointed in a draw, but we got a point off the best team in Italy right now, arguably. Napoli, didn't let them really do much. Got out of there with a win. So, look.
We got Roma still. When did we play Rome?
Play Roma, I believe, the 30th of December.
Okay, coming up.
So you guys will get to witness what a true number 9 is capable of. I'm just kidding. Hey, Roma, are you guys open to a trade? I'll give you a Dusan with like some craft Italian beer for Lukaku. Please.
Yeah, you are right. December 30th. That's the Sunday as well, the 2:45 match. That is prime time.
Oh yeah,
End of the month, end of the year, last game of the year as well. So
that is gonna be fun.
I actually can't wait for that now.
I
You
know,
just got me pumped up.
I know,
Ooh,
because we're on holiday at that point, holiday break. Let's go.
yeah. Oh man. Then
All right,
Frosinone Juve is the 23rd, Saturday, 6:30 a.m. That's the Festivus special. Well, it's the same day as the Festivus special.
yeah.
And then going back another week. I'm just rolling with it since we're here. Friday, December 15th. That is next Friday, 5 days from now. 2:45 for the trio of Friday afternoons,
Yeah, we play against Retegui in Genoa.
who are now sitting in fifth, but tied with fourth place. Fourth
Genoa?
place, Rome.
Holy shit,
Yeah,
that's wild.
Bologna. Why? Nope.
Genoa.
I
Yeah,
get
you're
those
thinking. Well, I was
mixed
gonna
up
say, I'm
all the
like, you're
time.
thinking Bologna.
Genoa's in 15th. I do this, Genoa and Bologna. It's because they're both meats. And they're both red. They're both like similar colors and they're both hanging meats. And I get them confused all the time.
Dave, it's just meat and black. All
Oh
right,
man.
let's talk
Charcuterie
about
boards.
for sure.
Get some parma in there as well for some cheese.
Make me hungry, Dave. Damn it.
I'm so hungry right
Ah.
now.
All right, so let's look at the stats. So ball possession 34 to 66. No surprise there because Juve are going to say Napoli play with the ball and do it. What I did find interesting is this is the first time we didn't lead in expected goals, but I think let me see what Crava's expected goal is because I think that made that higher than it should be. 0.67. Okay, so his thing was a 0.67. So
When
that
they
chance they
jumped
squandered.
up, I remember watching the stats. They were at like 0.17 xg, and then Kvaratskhelia with his massive miss, it went up
And
to
then
0.78
Politano.
at that time.
I think it was Politano that had the other one too. So let's see. Yeah, 0.66.
He's 30 now, eh?
Yeah, he's an old effer. Then Victor Osimhen. Yeah, that's how you know your defense did a good job. Look at that.
0.03.
0.03.
Negligible.
Yeah, and then you have this goober 0.47. I wish I could. Yeah, Chiesa didn't even 0.06. Wow.
Yeah, he was. I mean, defensively, again, he did a bit of work, but nothing great.
Yeah, so they did. I think Napoli had a couple of biffs that kind of inflated that number a little bit, but overall, kind of a whimper. Because look, one shot on target the whole match, two shots on target the whole match. So it's like Napoli dominated Juve. Okay.
Is that like that guy that was going on about how Napoli was dominating Inter, even though they lost 3-0?
Yeah, and then we were supposed to get a VAR penalty in their favor and some other baloney
Blah,
like
blah,
that.
blah, blah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So let's look at this. So this is how you determine dominance. Open play, XG in open play, 1.04, 0.81. We're more dangerous in open play than they are. Set play, 0.05 to 0.42. Why? Because they had a fuck ton more set plays than us.
I think it was
Non-penalty.
7-4. Was it? I don't
On
have
their
the stat
favor?
there, but they had a few more corners. 6-3. That's what
Yeah,
it was.
6-3. Yeah, they're going to have a higher that because they had more corners. So in regards to shots on target, 0.4, 0.21. You can say it's balanced. I don't think anyone dominated anybody. Non-penalty XGs, that's just more so anything that's not a penalty base, but I don't understand how that number works. That's kind of weird. But yeah, look, this is big. Open play, way more dangerous than they are. Set plays, they had higher because they had more than us. I mean, it's kind of a go figure, right? More chances you get, the more opportunity, the number goes up. They dominated us in passing, but that doesn't surprise me. But this is something that I wanted to bring up that I thought was interesting. We sit back all the time. Who had more touches in the opposition box? It means we touch the ball more on their side. So that is one of those things where it debunks a thing like that, right?
Yeah.
And this is more so just kind of explaining, just trying to break this down a little bit more in depth for you guys.
Because most of their touches
are
we're
on their
in the
side.
offensive zone. It was in
Yeah.
the neutral midfield, or
Neutral
what's
zone. We're gonna bring
the
it
hockey
throughout the
stuff.
hockey,
The midfield.
or as delinquents would say, ice hockey, just to piss off a
Uh,
Canadian.
Fuck, there's only one hockey.
There's only one, and it's on skates.
Yeah.
So look, interceptions, defensive tackles, one. We killed them there. Shots on target. Total shots, and I got to illustrate again. Total shots mean everything, even things that are blocked and don't hit the net. So of course that's going to be
Kimmerscalia
high
shot.
if you're just saying fuck it and go, heaving it. So you can say 50. I think it's a fair assumption to say that this was a 50-50 match. Nobody really dominated who. I think the picture that I want to paint and the image that I want to show you guys is like, yes, we do a low block. We sit back, we absorb pressure. However, we try to move forward. This is the one thing I want people to understand, and I want people to learn, and that's why I'm kind of showing these numbers, and I went a little bit more in depth in it. We had touches in their box, guys. We have movement on the offensive side. The issue is there's no end product. That is what's causing it to be an issue. Once, hypothetically speaking, if Chiesa and Dusan are both at 9 goals apiece, 9-10 goals apiece so far this season, you don't see me bitching about the offensive side of the field. You don't see me complaining about us not finishing and being decisive. If Chiesa and Dusan both had 9 apiece, Moise Keane had 4, Milik had 3, this is me.
So for the love of God, strikers, please, we don't want to hear
Score.
Dash anymore. Just get a couple bangers, shut them up, and move on with life.
Shut me up. Trashovic, make me call you Vlahovic. I can't do that.
We just want to say your name again.
We just want to love you. Let me love you. Why do you make me hate you so much?
Oh, man.
Oh, man. So, I mean, it's a traditional blueprint, right? Napoli's always going to have possession. We're always going to be more decisive with the ball. Big shout out to AJ on that one. He tweeted that earlier this morning. That's really kind of it. There's not really anything unique or anything crazy. Like Juve didn't really do a masterclass in defending or anything like that. It was just another day in the office. I think the one thing, and it's made apparent to this game, is defenders are capable of mistakes, and some games you're able to get away with them, other games you're not.
Like Tech. We didn't even mention Tech.
Yes,
He gets an oopsie.
That was a big oopsie, and I think he knew, and he was laughing about it.
Well, he had a Twitter post where he was just like,
He's like, my bad. But you can only do what we're doing for so long. But what I mean by that is expecting your center backs to score every game.
yeah, because they won't one game.
They won't.
And then who will? Rabiot? Maybe, but probably not. Should be Dusan. Maybe Chiesa.
Should be.
Should be. But will it be?
I unfortunately doubt it.
Well, there's 3 games left of the year, which would actually conclude the first 18 matches, which is exactly half of the matches. So December will be interesting to see how it develops through. Of course, we will come maybe have a New Year special where we do the midterm report card. But that being said, I am going to be very interested the next 3 weeks. Also, because I'm on holidays, there is going to be super no stress. I'm going to have some fun. I think it's going to be a good holiday season, some footy, and some continued Juve dominance, Cortez style.
Definitely, especially with the pro club stuff, because the team is absolutely vaulting in the pro club.
I'm 900 points away from level 50. I'm
Nice.
Almost there. I'm almost half good.
Yeah, and to folks, yes, Dave and I do play with the viewers. We're not like some level 5 spoons that barely touch the game.
They don't want to play with us anymore though, because we suck.
Oh,
they're just that much better than us. They're. If it wasn't for we don't run it essentially. Dash is gonna leave. It's okay.
my feelings,
guys. When we mention, and I know we haven't mentioned in a while, but this was the whole concept. Being here from the beginning, you would know that it's all about fan-driven content. These guys are taking the bull by its horns, the toro, if you will,
By the balls.
by the balls. Yeah, they're just running with this whole thing. The FC24 Pro Clubs. If you want to be involved with that, there is the barcode that you can scan up in the top left. The description is also, or the link is in the description down below. So please do that. And while you scroll down there, hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. That would be super awesome of you as well. Because, man, the algorithm really likes the clicks, loves the clicks. It's
Oh,
like
absolutely.
it likes that little thumb. I don't know what it does with all those thumbs, but it likes the thumbs up, if you know what I'm saying. So give the algorithm your thumbs up. Uh oh dash. Is there any last breaking news before we kill it? Or it's just
Uh,
another lazy Sunday night and rolling into the next work week?
it could. Do you want? I do want to. I do want to illustrate this. You guys want to
Oh
see
yeah.
what look at this tackle? I just think it's absolutely hysterical.
Oh that yeah.
I mean,
The Lukaku tackle just comes flying in. Right flying into her there,
hey,
buddy.
look. Say what you want about Lukaku, but that motherfucker puts in effort.
He does.
Like that is a center back. He absolutely whiffed it. Like, don't get me wrong, dude
That
whiffed
was
it.
that was super dangerous though.
It is extreme. He got a red card for it. I mean, deservedly so. But
Yeah.
could you imagine
There's
if
two
these?
red cards, and then in the 98th minute, Fiorentina got a red card as well.
You know what's kind of ironic about that game? Dybala was handed Player of the Month, took the Player of the Month award picture, and then like proceeded to lose his leg in 25 minutes.
22 minutes.
22.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that was even faster.
Yeah.
So it's like I think at this point, I, that guy's just dusted. At this point, I just like Roma is probably like where he's gonna stay until his career's done.
He is 30 now as well, so
Yeah,
he's on the back end, especially with those injuries. I don't
it's
know
just
how many years he has left, honestly.
it's just disappointing, right? Because it's like he could be so much better than what he was, but it's just he couldn't stay healthy.
So many stories like that. He's just another victim.
I know, just victim of the Olympico.
We were not victims of Orsato, the ref, this weekend as well. So that was good. He had a fairly well called game.
Let me ask you this: did you think? I think it was off a corner. Did you think that one play was a handball or not?
Oh, that
The one where
call
I think
back.
it bounced off Di Lorenzo's head, shoulder, and then his hand.
Yes.
Because I saw some people have some pop to that, saying that it
Yeah.
was. I didn't personally. I
I
didn't see it.
yeah. I wasn't super upset about it. I know you can't be going up with a challenge with your hands up, but technically kind of like went off his back and then into his arms, so it was a deflection. At the end, and this was my argument when I was calling the game. I don't care. Move on. If you need that penalty to win this game, you don't deserve it anyways.
Yeah, yeah. That's honestly my thought on it. Right? If you are a great team, you do not put yourself in a position where you need the referee to give you calls and things on your way. Right? That to me is just you got to do better.
Yeah.
Dominant teams don't need referee assistance. Or
And
I
from
don't.
a perfectly neutral perspective as well, doesn't matter who's playing. I hate those sloppy calls that give up big penalties like that. Like
Mhm.
those little like because if it was the other way, would be yelling about it, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those. Look at it objectively. If you're watching a neutral match, how would you look at that call? Is it in the spirit of the game that we're trying to play, or you're just being selfish because your team's playing right now and you just really want it? At the end of the day, if it's not conclusive, it's a little bit messy. I'm almost half happy because you can't conclusively say that it did happen. So
Yeah.
just then who cares? Just move on. You just let the game play because that's what the fans want. They want to see the game play. They don't want to sit there looking at a VAR screen.
I know.
So move
Yeah.
on.
Did you also know? Apparently, after the match, uh, Bremer and Mana had dinner with Giuntoli and them. Apparently, he's getting another extension till 28.
Yes, well, the ongoing talks for his extension, yes. So it must be close if they're sitting down for dinner.
I know, right? They're buying him I can imagine, a nice brisket or some steak. And I could
Maybe
go.
some Brazilian steak, Brazilian barbecue. Oh man,
Yeah, we actually have a restaurant called Texas de Brazil. It's like a Brazilian steakhouse. Absolutely, just all you can eat. They just like $25, or it's 50. I think it's 50 now, but like $50, and they just bring you all these different kinds of meats.
yeah. I mean, you have to fast for a week to be able to get your money's worth at those things, though. Honestly, the amount
Yeah.
of salt and just pure meat that goes into your body. Maybe if
Oh,
I was 20. These days,
absolutely.
these days, no, I couldn't get my money's worth. I'd rather just have like a really nice cut, just less but better.
Yeah, yeah. So I think it's a good stopping point, right? I think we can
Absolutely.
wrap this conversation. I will end it. We'll kind of give an homage because it is Higuain's birthday, so we'll kind of share a recent memory of Lord Higuain. But uh, remember, folks, thanks for tuning in for this conversation as well. It's always a pleasure when it's just Dave and myself, just kind of just talking to each other and bouncing off some ideas. Not saying that we don't like you guys, but I have the attention span of a squirrel when it comes to the chat because I will go into monologue and then I will miss 15 chats and then I'm sitting there playing catch up and I look like an ass. So sometimes we need a little bit of a pre-recorded chill conversation.
Chill.
Some other things, obviously, guys. Please, we do ask, especially you lurkers, to like the video. If you're not going to comment or anything on it, like the video, just because the higher likes percentage to views that you get, the more you get pushed in the algorithm. And we're trying to build the community with more people, add more folks, because we've added a bunch of new people. If you have not seen our latest call-in show, we've had 8 people in the room at one time.
And I gave a subscription, speaking of lurkers, to Ruby. I haven't seen you before. I wanna see you throw a comment down in there. So Ruby, if you're out there, you're a member for a month. Let us know how you're doing.
Lettuce. As well as with all the folks that you see in the call-in show, you can hop on Discord, have conversations with them. Again, you just have to get past the gatekeeper, Colin. If you were cool and you passed the vibe test from Colin, I'm just kidding.
No, Colin, I'll ban Colin if I have to. Give him a timeout.
No. I love him because he's like the bodyguard. He's like the enforcer. He really is. He's the enforcer of the TG. So it's
He's
like
an old guy sitting in his rocking chair on the porch that's yelling at the kids that are playing.
we love you, Colin. We love you. But again, make sure you guys, if you want to have more conversation, easier access to Dave and myself, do not follow us on social media because we don't really use it that frequently. Go on Discord. Dave and I are more inclined to respond and reach out to you guys there. Anybody that wants to do a collaboration, edits, or anything like that, go to the Discord. It's easier for us to manage. And obviously, I said like and subscribe. Make sure you share this, do some other fun things, and we will catch you on the Wednesday Tinfoil Hat Show. And remember, that is a fluid show. The more stuff that you submit to us on the Discord, the more stuff we can cover and talk and have shenanigans because we have stuff that we want to talk about, articles that we want to talk about. We also want you to give us some stuff that you want us to react to as well. So,
I think the big takeaway is join the Discord. That's the best spot ever.
Yes, it's super awesome.
All right, Dash. Well, thanks for the conversation. It's Sunday night. I think it's time to chill out and get ready for the week ahead.
Yeah, and I guess we can end it on some Higuain magic.
Autogol! Clamorosa di Balzagli e Inter incredibilmente in vantaggio. Ma l'avevi detto tu, la Juventus una in più non riesce più a recuperare palla. L'Inter non sta soffrendo l'inferiorità numerica e sembra averne di più, sia come energie nervose ma anche fisiche.
Just when it looks like all hope is lost, just wait for it.
What is... What are we watching?
Probably make it smaller so we don't get copyrighted.
I don't think I've seen Higuain yet. Is he just really small?
Well, that was his goal.
Okay, like it's okay. I just can't see shit. It's too small, man. There he is.
That's what she said.
I did see him live there against Toronto. That shitty ass soccer team there in Toronto. Scored against him. I think it was his second last game before he retired. So there's my memory.
Yeah, but big happy birthday to Gonzalo Higuain. A lot of people might have mixed opinions about his stay at Juve, but he also delivered us with some Kodak moments and was officially the Napoli killer as well, too. So, yeah. All right, guys. We will see you Wednesday, unless some crazy news breaks up and we have to hop on.
Oh, Ellen, she does this. She doesn't let me use my mouse. Sorry,